a beautiful blonde woman, dancing, Hollywood. What do these three have in common? Math. The wonders of mathematics can be seen and experienced every day, most times without conscious acknowledgement. However, the wonderment and excitement from movies, math has been given a taste of the limelight. You can find math in many movies like Safe, Rain Man, Die Hard, Hypercube, The Oxford Murders, A Serious Man, Moneyball, Pi, 12 Monkeys, and many more. Today we are going to focus on the mathematical concepts found in the films A Beautiful Mind and Lambada. Lambada is about a Beverly Hills teacher, Kevin Laird, who teaches entitled high school students. He spends his evenings dancing the Lambada at Latin clubs. There he is known by the moniker Blade. His dance moves have made him a local sensation, and he tutors some of the club's underprivileged patrons in math. The concepts and systems Mr. Laird teaches in his classes reoccur in various scenes throughout the movie, some of which are complementary adjacent angles and the rectangular coordinate system. The movie starts out with our infamous math teacher, Mr. Laird, teaching a high school class about 90-degree angles, also known as right angles. Right angles are one of the most common and interesting angles in all geometry. It even has its own angle symbol. Complementary angles are angles whose sum is equal to 90 degrees. They are like partners in a 90-degree dance. Mr. Laird also talks about adjacent angles. Adjacent angles are two angles that have a common side and a common vertex or corner point and don't overlap. The rectangular coordinate system is also called Cartesian coordinate system, or the XY coordinate system. It is composed of a set of two intersecting lines. The vertical axis is commonly labeled as the Y, and the horizontal axis, the X. The X and Y axes divide the system into four parts, which are called quadrants. Any point in rectangular coordinate system is corresponding to an ordered pair, X, Y. In the very last scene of Lambada, Mr. Laird uses the rectangular coordinate system and angles while playing pool. One of his students begins to take bets that he would not be able to make his winning 8-ball shot. This particular student thought that Mr. Laird could not apply his math skills and concepts to the game. With all odds against him, Mr. Laird made the shot by using the rectangular coordinate system and won. Lambada took several simple math concepts and brought them to life with movie magic.
A Beautiful Mind, a human drama inspired by events in the life of John Forbes Nash, Jr., and in part based on the biography A Beautiful Mind by Sylvia Nesser. From the heights of notoriety to the depths of depravity, John Forbes Nash, Jr. experienced it all. A mathematical genius, he made an astonishing discovery early in his career and stood on the brink of international acclaim. But the handsome and arrogant Nash soon found himself on a painful and harrowing journey of self-discovery. With a little Hollywood magic, A Beautiful Mind brought to life the mathematical concepts of governing dynamics, zero-sum game theory, Riemannian manifold, game of hex, even vector calculus. In game theory, or Nash equilibrium, a proposed solution of a non-cooperative game involving two or more players in which each player is assumed to know the equilibrium strategies of the other players, and no player has anything to gain by changing only their own strategy. If each player has chosen a strategy and no player can benefit by changing strategies while the other players keep theirs unchanged, then the current set of strategy choices and their corresponding payoffs constitutes a Nash equilibrium. In the movie, Nash is at a bar working on his original idea when he is approached by his classmates. His classmates point out a blonde woman that is across from them, and they all become interested in her. Hansen mentions Adam Smith's quote, "In competition, individual ambition serves the common good," to refer to every man for themselves when approaching the blonde. This quote sparks a revelation in Nash, who breaks it down to the men that if everyone targets the blonde, they will all lose. If they go for the friends after being rejected by the blonde, they will be rejected by the friends. But if they each individually go after a friend, no one goes for the blonde, they will all win in the end. Nash explains that Smith was incomplete in his theory because you can only win when you think about what is best for yourself and the group, perfectly depicting governing dynamics. This is an image that visually displays John's theory. In this slide, we see that if everyone goes directly to a brunette friend, they all will come out being happy. If one person gets the blonde, the rest will have to settle for a brunette friend, meaning only one person wins. But if everyone goes for the blonde, they may overwhelm her, thus ruining any chance of them going home with her. At a lecture, Nash is discussing a Riemann zeta function that has zeros that correspond to singularities in space and time. The Riemannian hypothesis, not yet a theory, resurfaces in the film in Nash's later years. The Riemann hypothesis is a conjecture that is believed to have the Riemann zeta function zeros at the negative even integers. It isn't until later in life that he was able to solve this hypothesis. It implies that any closed surface may be realized inside an arbitrarily small ball in three-dimensional space. The game of hex was mentioned a couple of times in the movie. However, its significance in the math community does not go unnoticed. Simultaneously invented by Nash and another mathematician in the 40s, it was a staple at Princeton amongst the math majors. The game is played on an 11-inch by 11-inch hexagonal grid. Two players, red and blue, alternate placing stones on the board. Red owns two opposite sides of the board, while blue owns the other two opposite sides. The goal is to make a connected path of pieces between the two sides a player owns. The first player to do so wins the game. The game never ends in a draw. This is an image that shows the dynamics of the game hex. We see that the red player owns two parallel sides of the board, while the blue owns those perpendicular to the reds. Each player alternates placing a stone until one player has made an uninterrupted path from one parallel side to another. From board games, blondes, dancing, space and time, to angles and billiards, Hollywood has brought the magic of math into movies. Action films, romance and drama. Math serves very real applications in our lives and the world around us. With the help of Hollywood, we can be reminded of such.